It's June 5th, 2017. It's the Raw after Extreme Rules. There's a deceptive dancing bear, there's sneak attacks, and there's a Samoa Joe devastation happening now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. yes. He was a destroyer. He was a destroyer of everyone's world tonight. Welcome to the Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Markeia McCarty. Johnny LaQuasto is out saving the world tonight, so we're saving our little piece of it right here in the studio. Joining me is Denise Salcedo.
Hey guys, you guys can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo.
We have Mr. J. Washington.
What's happening, y'all? Find me Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Mr. J. Washington, co-host of the Trusty Sidekick podcast. And I know half the guys that were on this show tonight.
Nice point.
Yeah.
I know half the guys that are actually doing this because we all done shows together. Shouts out to IWA Mid-South and Elite Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Jay is a wrestler. He's also a stand-up comedian. He's also a huge nerd, if you couldn't tell by this Pokemon shirt that I love. I love this Pokemon shirt. And Denise did the Extreme Rules pay-per-view
I'm so
with
glad
me
to be
last
back.
night. Yeah, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty, Markeia McCarty. So the Raw tonight, it was at Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, the Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza, and I enjoyed the theatricality of tonight's Raw. How did it fare for y'all?
I thought it was a good show. Honestly, I was kind of afraid that this Raw was going to be kind of like a filler Raw, like, oh, we're just going to be finishing off whatever happened at Extreme Rules, but, it was a good show. I mean, there were some moments where I was like, yes, I like that, did not expect that coming, and yes, good match, etc. I loved this Raw.
With it, for me, it was the fact that it wasn't just like, okay, Extreme Rules, everybody's already beat up, banged up, tired, you're not going to get anything really. The way they kicked off the show was a shock to me because WWE had announced previously that it was going to be Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns kicking it off. But for them to go almost 30 minutes, I was like shocking. I'm like, wait, hold on. Y'all trust Roman Reigns like that? That was literally my thought. Like, you trust, to put on a match they put after what they went through in the Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way, I commend them heavily. I commend Bray Wyatt more than anything else. I'm not going to lie. Bray, I say this to a lot of people and people hate it, Bray made Roman look like a superstar tonight.
He did.
Yes.
It was a good match.
Great match. Bray Wyatt knows what he's doing. He had a character look. We get it. It's Waylon Mercy 2.0. And that's all the Bray Wyatt gimmick is Waylon Mercy. Nice. But what he does in the ring supersedes just a gimmick. And it made Roman Reigns, who normally looks like a wet paper bag, Roman Reigns is the same dude. Yeah. Like, we're supposed to believe you this big baddie now because the first thing you said the night after WrestleMania was, it's my yard now, which was the dopest way he did it. But like now, there's nothing really following it that's making me like, yo, this the dude that beat Taker and retired him. It's just like, all right, here go the same Roman Reigns again.
Yeah, it's something that I brought up in the pay-per-view after show that I did with Denise, where it's like I want him to go full heel. Mm-hmm. I need it. I don't need this halfway, no man's gray area that is going on. And I was pleasantly surprised during this particular match.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, obviously Bray Wyatt came out, again, cut an amazing promo, which he always does. Yes. I absolutely loved the points that he made where it was like, now he's blaming everybody else in the match, like, oh, this person was guilty. This person is guilty of me not saving you guys. I thought that was awesome. And then when Roman Reigns came out and they had like this face-off together, and the crowd was so into it. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like there was like a moment there specifically for Bray Wyatt where it was like a switch went on and it was like, yes, we are behind Bray right now.
This is happening.
This is happening for him. And I think that was an awesome moment followed by a really good match for Raw in the start of the show. And I wasn't expecting it to go as long, but I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Pennsylvania is a great town for wrestling as a whole. Again, the ECW arena being in Philly. Pittsburgh is a great town. Wilkesboro, I believe, is right outside of. I can't remember which one is right outside of. But the crowds are always there for it. And when they're into something, they'll let you know. And if they're not into it, they will let you know. And we actually saw that a lot tonight.
Yes.
If you paid attention to how the crowds were. Like, there were times where, we'll talk about in a minute later on, there was one person that had the entire crowd on their feet.
There was, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and we are going to get there. So the night started off with Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. We got a little overview of the Fatal 5-Way that happened during Extreme Rules on Sunday, i.e. Rollins frog splashing Bray Wyatt through an announcer table. We also know that Samoa Joe is the #1 contender for the Universal Championship after doing a coquina clutch on Finn Balor. I'm never going to get it right. So yes, and we started it off with Bray Wyatt doing an excellent. It was excellent. I know. I'm going to try. I'm going to try for the Bray Wyatt voice.
Try yours.
Last night was the beginning of the end. I had a chance to slay the beast and to save you all from damnation. But instead of arming me with my sword, they took it from me and they stuck it right into my heart. But I'm still here, and I'm still alive, and I'm every bit of the god that I've always been.
You know what you sound like.
That's what I sound like.
You sound like you're doing a monologue for Raising in the Sun or To Kill a Mockingbird.
There you go. She's like, for a role. That's what she could use.
He's like, I was trying to save you.
I feel the spirit.
He sounds like a preacher.
Spirit in me. That was Preacher. That was Preacher. That's my Preacher voice. But yeah, the match started early with Bray grabbing Reigns and Sister Abigail, but Reigns countered the Sister Abigail. Bray ducked under the Superman punch. Actually, there was a lot of ducking and sidestepping of Superman punches throughout the entire match.
I don't blame him.
I know. Who wants to take that?
Have you ever actually watched in the slow motion when it catches somebody for real?
Oh!
I thought the Big Show's Weapon of Mass Destruction punch was bad. Roman Reigns' Superman punch has made a lot of people go in the back and say, "Hey fam, I swear to God if you dislocate my jaw."
I know, right?
Because
it looks like a jawbreaker.
Oof.
Yeah, but Bray did do a solid DDT to pin Roman for a 2 count. There was a Samoan drop by Reigns for another 2 count, multiple clotheslines, headbutts, flying sentons onto Reigns on the outside. Roman actually got a huge powerbomb in, and Bray was kind of like the Terminator during this match because he took a Superman punch, kicked out at 2. He took a drive-by and took it, turned that around, delivered a massive clothesline back onto Reigns, and Reigns almost got counted out after that clothesline, but then after another Superman punch and a spear, Bray was pinned and Reigns took the win.
I'm mad we didn't actually even see a Sister Abigail. I know we saw it early.
Yeah.
I would have liked in this match when the guys were working it out that he hit it because it would have only made it better. Like you guys are hitting each other's finishes and you're kicking out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point.
You know, that's just my philosophy when calling a match like that. Like I get it. Everybody's kicked out the Superman punch. Let's just be honest. It doesn't lay the superstars. It doesn't lay them down anymore. So you know somebody's gonna kick out of that. The spear is the one most people don't kick out of. But we should have seen at least one Sister Abigail. At least one. If you're gonna keep pushing this, Roman Reigns is this big dog. Roman Reigns is all powerful. People gotta hit finishes on him. It's gotta happen. Vince and all the guys in the back, all the producers, Devon, Billy Kidman, I can start going down the list, all of them who were really responsible for all this bull. But if you're going to make this dude as dominant as you want him to be, you got to make sure you're giving everything to it and tell him, listen, if you're going to be dominant, can we make it look right? And like, if you're going to sell 1 point, sell. If you're not, don't. Just figure out what you're going to do and stick to that. And also, get dude out that vest.
Yeah, he definitely needs a new gear for sure. I'm ready for a new look for Roman.
Yeah, you don't want that little nostalgia from the Shield to happen anymore.
Let it go.
I don't like anything nostalgic. It's in the past. I am ready to move on to a new future.
Man, they flipped Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose gear like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They even changed musics.
They did.
Roman still has the music, and he still looks like a member of the Shield. Like, if you want him to be something else, let's stop thinking about the Shield every time we see him. That's just, I got thoughts on Roman.
So, we were saying that this match went longer than expected. Was anybody else expecting Braun Strowman to come out? Because I kind of was. I was expecting something to happen.
You miss him? You miss him too? I miss him a little bit.
All I miss is that I'm not finished with you yet.
It's like, and you see it in little words, like, I'm not finished with you.
The night he first did it, when he whooped Roman Reigns for like 15 and a half minutes backstage, I was on Snapchat in tears, crying, laughing.
I think we all popped for that.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Snapchat.
I couldn't stop crying, laughing. And my boy started calling me. He was like, "Why are you crying, laughing?" I was like, "Dude, you have to watch what Braun Strowman is doing, because this is what we've wanted to see. Somebody do this to Roman Reigns." And the way, "I'm not finished with you yet," I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." Praise God. Because I thought it was of the Lord that he kept doing it. But I was hoping that Braun Strowman would have came out, or at least Finn Balor, something, because the way they kept talking, this was all about the remnants of the Fatal 5-Way minus Samoa Joe.
Right.
Because he's set no matter what.
Yeah.
He's number one contender.
He's number one contender.
It's no matter what. Now, the four of them got beef. So that's what my thought was with that. But I get where you're coming from. Yeah. Oh, to see it. Oh, my God.
I mean, like, maybe not this Raw, but in the next coming weeks, I think we're going to see him sooner than people expected, because it would just, like, sell him as, like, oh, he came back earlier before, like, surgery.
I'll take Braun Strowman in a sling coming back whooping people. I swear to God, I would. I will live with that, too. With one arm, Braun Strowman whooping everybody.
That'd be awesome, actually.
How much of a monster would he still be if he came back with one arm just whooping everybody?
I know, he can only tip an ambulance as opposed to bare hand flipping it. Yeah. But continuing on with Raw, Charlie Caruso interviews Enzo and Cass about his mysterious attackers from a couple of weeks ago. And Cass addresses the fact that he's disgusted that people think that it's him. Enzo busts on Corey Graves a little bit, you know.
Corey Graves, you got a problem.
Yeah, so it's interesting little bit here.
For me, I'm going to be that person. It has to be Cass, and if it's not Cass at this point, I'm going to kind of be disappointed. I mean, I do like Enzo and Cass together, but let's face it has to be Cass. And then, I did think, hold on, besides this whole situation, I did think that it was funny that Charlie and Enzo kind of had like that moment, that like flirtatious moment. They even left the camera longer on Charlie to be like, you know, giving him the eyes. But good segment backstage. I do definitely think it's Cass, especially because of the tone of his voice. I like totally read into it. I was like, oh, I'm reading between the lines. It has to be him.
It's so stereotypical what they're doing. It's so that normal. You think I'm the one setting my partner up? Then 2 weeks later, it was me. We knew. There's nothing.
And then even more later on in the show, it even fed to it more.
It's like, come on, it's you give it, but you knew at one point something would happen to split them up. And everybody said the moment they broke up, it would never be an amicable split with Enzo and Cass. It would have to be Cass whooping the dog piss out of Enzo, because that's the only way you can rightfully break them two up. Unless you were going to do it during the Superstar split. Unless you were going to shake up, when you took the different people to different shows. They weren't going to split up Enzo and Cass that way. Fine. If you're not, Enzo has to get whooped from ding ding to ding ding by Cass.
I love kind of like a Lesnar taking on Ray. That's in my mind.
When Lesnar whooped Cena that first time at SummerSlam, that's how Enzo is gonna get beat by. That's the only way that solidifies this. Cause I just want to see, what are you doing? Just keep pummeling them. But the problem becomes when that happens is Cass doesn't have a mouthpiece.
Yeah, there is that.
You know, that's gonna be that. Oh yeah, we got big Cass, but you gotta talk.
Well, we always knew that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Eventually it's going to happen. So then we got a slideshow of Bayley versus Alexa Bliss's match last night.
Was that a match?
Oh, it was not a personal favorite of mine. Well, it's like basically Bayley hesitates when she finally gains control of the kendo stick. It was a kendo stick on a pole match. And Alexa dominated. So we do have Kurt Angle and Alexa Bliss. Alexa's put out that Kurt isn't congratulating her on retaining her title. And she wants to do an Alexa Bliss, "This Is My Life," because that went so well last Raw. Kurt tells her, no.
Nah, not gonna happen.
No, worst idea ever. That's not happening. But you know what is going to happen? You're going to keep your word. You're going to have a title match against Nia Jax.
Seriously? That was my favorite part of this, by the way. I loved it.
Seriously?
It was so cute. It was perfect for Alexa. I'm actually surprised that Kurt mentioned, like, oh, that was like the worst segment in Raw. I was like, I wasn't expecting Kurt to say that,
I'm
actually.
glad that he said what we were all thinking and saying.
Yeah. I'm glad somebody talked to Kurt off the camera and was like, you got to start getting your lines right.
Yeah.
Because you messed up saying 18 different things already and the show just started. We need you to get this together, Kurt. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. He messes up Finn's name more than I do.
He's like, you got a challenge championship. Like, Kurt, how hard is it to say championship? You've had several of them. You know about this already. Get it together, sir. They gave me this job, okay?
Yeah, but then we have Elias Samson. Elias Samson, which actually we had him for Extreme Rules, a non-interrupted section of Elias Samson. But tonight we had Elias Samson in the ring. It's just a man and a guitar and a spotlight. And who wants to walk with Elias Samson? I see both of you shaking your heads right now. His music was inspired by a leaf falling by the side of the road. And then he went into a song, busting on Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe. So he was interrupted by Dean. So that happened. Y'all look like y'all have strong opinions on Elias Samson.
All I'm going to say is this, all right? This is all I'm going to say. There are only 5 men I ever want to see with a guitar, all right? And that's the Honky Tonk Man, Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle, The Rock, and Stone Cold. I don't want to see anybody else with a guitar if you're not going to have that charisma and you're not going to do something amazing with a guitar. So I just want Elias Samson. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't want it, and I'm not ready for it.
You're not feeling the drifter at all.
I'm not.
It makes, you know what, the way when you saw him when he was in NXT, it was like, okay, this is a dude that just has the look. I don't see anything special about him yet. I've always been one of them dudes who've been preaching to everybody, you got to let the Attitude Era go. You have to give the new generation guys a chance. I preach that consistently because I'm like, yo, these new guys have to have that opportunity. You put Elias Samson in the middle of the ring singing on Extreme Rules, everybody's like, why? Just keep having him doing the drifter thing. There's no reason to have him in the middle of the ring doing that. If you
I liked the drifter thing when it was
when
just
him
him
just walking by playing the guitar, cool. If you have the camera occasionally go by him, but then you do this and he randomly calls out Dean Ambrose when it's like his whole thing with the Miz isn't done. So that made no sense to me.
Right.
It's like you could have said a bunch of everything else that happened at the pay-per-view, but you focused on Ambrose and the Miz. And it's like you're not gonna have. What are you gonna have a couple of a match or two on Raw with Ambrose, but Ambrose still is going after the Intercontinental title? It's like, what are they doing with you? What is the point? You look like Adam Rose if he got his life together. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's just so I'm gonna say it like this. It's super cringy every time he comes on.
Super cringy.
Super cringy. Just gonna throw it out there.
He got an Ed Hardy t-shirt and some skinny jeans. I'm not a fan of this dude.
Would you like it better if he actually did some wrestling and laid off the guitar a little bit? I mean, he did have a debut match with Dean Ambrose a few weeks ago. It was actually really well done.
It wasn't a bad match.
You know?
But look, the drifter thing, let that do that behind the scenes. You are not, first of all, you are not the musical version of Mr. Kennedy. Because remember they used to do that with Mr. Kennedy, have the light spotlight in the middle of the ring, the mic comes down. You are not that. But you can do some things in the ring. You're good as far as what you're good so far. You're developing well as a talent in the ring. That damn drifter though. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just, it has to grow. If it's gonna grow on me, it has to, and it hasn't done it
We
yet.
all know you want to walk with Elias. You're first in line for that.
Walk with
I'm cutting the line in front of everybody. Excuse me, I got my ticket for Elias.
Move out the way.
Move out the way. Ma'am, you got to wait. Okay, I'm with Elias.
Well, eventually he was interrupted by Dean Ambrose. Because Dean wants a rematch for the IC title. Miz is not having it. There's going to be a big celebration tonight because he is the champion. Dean is blindsided by Elias, laid out by a swinging neck breaker.
And says, that's what you get for hitting me with the mic.
That was that.
That was the...
And then he just kind of stood there for a second, and then he drifted off. And there we go. Yeah. And then continuing on, we get Dean backstage.
Before we continue on,
yes.
I think it would be funny if they either paired him with Aiden English.
Yes.
And
Okay.
he would like be the artiste in the music, and they would like make songs together.
Now that'll work. Now if you're gonna do that, that will work because Aiden English needs something to do, especially since they fired Simon. He needs something to do. I could see that.
Or if he's like Sam from Clarissa Explains It All, and his just guitar riff, and he just shows up, and then his guitar riff, and he just disappears.
Oh, wow. And that voice, excuse me, yes, we have Jimbo in the booth on the ones and twos.
I'll be here for the first hour, and then Mark will be for the second.
Okay, so we have Jimbo and Mark then. Great. Continuing on, where we have Dean backstage with Kurt Angle. And Dean really wants to find Mrs. Dressing Room just because. He just wants to know where it is.
Doesn't that sound kind of weird? Where's his dressing room?
Where's his dressing room?
Where's his dressing room?
Where's his dressing room? I just want some cucumber water. That's all I want.
I want
Where's
some
his dressing room?
refreshing
Cucumber water. Kurt Angle says, no, that's a no-go. There's a championship celebration tonight. You're taking the night off. Leave the building. It is not a suggestion.
Somebody's gonna hit Kurt. And Kurt's gonna snap out because Kurt looked like he still work out.
Ooh, yes, he does.
You look at Kurt,
doesn't he?
Kurt don't have a neck. Okay, that's what I just want you to know. You see all that Kurt don't have a neck.
Yeah.
Kurt still got a couple of good matches. Not one match. Kurt got a couple still left in him. Kurt brings his boots with him every time he becomes GM. Just in case they say tonight you gone.
Yeah, and if Samoa Joe tries something, you can't coquina clutch somebody if they don't have a neck.
They ain't got a neck because Kurt is all head and shoulders. Like, but every time it looks like he get into it with somebody, he has that look on his face like, I'm not Foley. You're not finna do me.
Ooh. Yeah,
because Foley could barely walk. And it's like, I'm not.
Oh, Foley.
Mick was like,
yeah.
tonight it will work. Like, he ended up.
Stop hurting my heart.
I actually thought this made Dean look kind of dumb to me because it's like, oh, coconut water. Come on, don't be dumb. Like, we know you're not dumb. Like,
Wait,
Dean, like, you're crazy, but
this one made him look dumb?
yeah.
This is the one?
this was the line. I'm sorry.
This was the line.
That specific line was just like, dude, really?
Because it's like ever since they started letting him talk more on his own, being this lunatic fringe, I get it. They won't let him be John Moxley like he was.
We want him to be.
I want him to be John Moxley.
I'm a big Dean fan.
I haven't done when we did shows together in Elite Pro and IWA Mid South. John Moxley was that dude, but he wore this mask. It was a clown mask that scared the piss out of me. And he would always come by me and I'd be, get away from me, John. He's like, what's wrong, Jay? Get away from me, John. And I'm backing up while I'm saying this. You understand? I'm a grown man. Like, yo, get that clown mask away from me.
Man.
But I want that. We want that one. Everyone
we want
knows
a berserker Joker. That's
right.
what we want.
That's what he is. But the way they're doing this Dean Ambrose, it's like you're gonna sour people on him. And like you say, you make him look real stupid. Granted, I don't think this was the line.
I'm sorry. That was just like a trigger for me.
Everybody's got their line.
Don't apologize.
Everybody's got their Dean line. So now we have Samoa Joe in the ring. We get some decent mic work too. I'm liking this Samoa Joe. You know, he says, I'm going to make this very simple. Standing in front of you is a man that does not fear Brock Lesnar. And he goes on to say he's incapable of fearing him because he's envious of him and he wants everything that Brock Lesnar has, including his very light fighting schedule.
Yo,
that he brings that up. I love that.
Like, yo,
nice.
Who gave him the okay to say that?
Right? Because I'm sure, as you know, the last time we saw Brock Lesnar was the night after WrestleMania on Raw. We saw him. So yes, he wants that light fighting schedule. He wants the Universal Championship title, and most importantly, he wants Paul Heyman. He wants him as his advocate and his errand runner.
I kind of feel like we all kind of feel that way in some perspective.
Right? Doesn't everybody want
Everybody wants to be Brock
Heyman
Lesnar, and everybody wants a Paul Heyman in their life. Like, I need that, like, mentorship. I need all of that.
Right.
But no, honestly, this was my second favorite part of all of Raw, because again, Samoa Joe, I said this last night and I'm going to say this again. I'm so happy that he won. And not only that, tonight was a perfect example of somebody totally different, that he is a badass. Samoa Joe is a badass in every sense of the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he wrestles, everything he does about him is a badass. And we haven't seen that go against Brock Lesnar. And so this made me more excited. And then when he cornered Paul Heyman and they were like not like on mic, they were just like talking face to face. That was like next level badass for me, and I was like, yes, that is exactly what I want to see. The mind games have started. Which
brings me up to what I said earlier.
Yes.
One man had the entire crowd on their feet when all you heard was, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and everybody is on their feet. I was like, y'all don't understand. The only other person that ever had that much heat like that, well, it wasn't even a heat, it was a pop. Remember when Vicky Guerrero used to come out and all she would say is, excuse me?
Excuse me?
And the entire arena would boo her?
That excuse me, it got you on all your right nerves.
But you know how that's called having the crowd in the palm of your hand.
Nice.
He came out and just said, ladies and... He wasn't even out yet and said, ladies and gentlemen. He was behind, and when he did it, and you looked around and everybody in that arena is on their feet. I was like, yo, how dope of a personality. That's what every guy, every girl in the back needs to pay attention to.
Right.
Granted, Heyman has decades of experience in this. He knows what he's doing. But you have to realize anybody that can control the entire crowd with just the opening words out of his mouth, That is what you aspire to be, especially in the WWE, where your character dictates more of what your career is going to be, more than your in-ring ability. See John Cena. Just be honest.
Yeah.
Because for the longest, Cena only had 6 moves. We all knew it, 6 moves. But Cena's charisma, his characters, the Dr. Thugonomics, everything else is what put him over the top. Paul Heyman being that guy that he is what keeps... Heyman never has to really take a bump unless he chooses to. Heyman just talks. And everybody loves it. And if you get the right person to talk against Heyman, it is gold of what you're watching. So I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Heyman. But Heyman said something on this promo that I was like, woo. Word? He's like, I worry. That's because I'm a Jew.
I didn't expect that. I was so shocked. And I was like, wait, my ears, what? Is that allowed? What is happening here?
Paul Heyman can do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, he calls Samoa Joe a badass that ate through the 4 other contenders to earn his number 1 contendership.
He put Joe over.
Yeah, he did.
While almost bringing him down. But he was putting Joe over heavy.
Just like he did Finn before.
Yeah, he'll put you over. Oh, but Heyman loves Balor. Heyman took photos with him and put it on Instagram. So Heyman was like, everybody was like, is he a Paul Heyman guy? Everybody was like, we'll see. But he's taking photos. He loves him. But he put Joe over so well.
Oh, it was so
like
good.
He knows what this match can be. He knows what him and Brock can do. And the fact that he was like, you are a badass. You are not afraid. And that makes me worried.
Yeah. In fact, you are the worst case scenario for Brock Lesnar.
Right.
He's like, I wanted Finn Balor. I'll get it right.
You get it.
Yeah, I wanted Finn Balor. Did I do it?
You got it.
Okay. But he's going to make sure that Great Balls of Fire, the next Raw exclusive promo, pay-per-view, Great Balls of Fire, that Brock will be Joe's worst case scenario.
It was a good sneak peek, I think, because there's still so many weeks until, I think, like 4 or 5 weeks till Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
So I feel like
July 9th,
over the weeks, it's going to be like, I feel like after what we saw today, I'm going to expect it to get next level each and every single time, especially with Brock coming next week.
But that requires Brock to come more than just next week, though.
Well, fingers crossed, you never know.
We only get him so many
Right,
times.
you only get him so many times.
So many times. We gotta spread it out.
Like, no, we can't.
We gotta spread it out.
Okay, fine. Well, next week's, I'm assuming it's going to be awesome then.
But continuing with this, Samoa Joe decides to leave the mic, in the middle of the ring. He goes over and he talks man-to-man, one-to-one, off mic with Paul Heyman, where he basically describes to him everything that he is about to do to him. And then he locks Heyman, clotheslines him into the middle of the ring, locks in a coquina clutch, and yells, "Tell Brock this! Describe this to him! Describe everything!" Four refs came out.
Shouts out to the fact they had Paul Heyman looking like Oswald Cobblepot on the ground. That is the Penguin for those who don't know about your Batman mythology.
And then talking about your Pennsylvania crowd, they started chanting, "We want Brock!" And Samoa Joe grabbed the mic and said, "So do I." This is beautiful. I loved this.
That's that character, like you were saying, the true badass. Somebody who could, the only other person, again, Paul Heyman had him in the palm of their hand. Joe had him all in the palm of their hand. The only other person who could have came out there and made it anything more beside Brock Lesnar is somebody who people keep chanting for, and he's not showing back up. CM Punk.
Yeah,
but
I love it when the CM Punk chant.
That's another
starts.
controversy within itself, for sure.
Man, we hate it when they come to Chicago. Like, yo, can y'all stop? Can y'all stop chanting? That Mark don't even want to go to the show.
Yeah, CM Punk said it himself that he doesn't like it, especially when they would do it when AJ Lee was still in Raw and they would chant his name, and he's like, "Hey, like, pay attention to my wife. Like, she's having a match here. This isn't about me."
It's like she's her own person.
Yeah.
So we have
I love him.
I hate him.
So we have Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle backstage. Samoa Joe's going toe-to-toe with Kurt Angle. He's not happy. He's
again, that look of Kurt Angle. Mm-hmm. Because if, for the WWE Universe who doesn't know, them two were going at it for years in TNA. And they had some of the greatest matches I've ever seen in all of professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. From shows I've done myself, to shows I've been in the back just watching, to things I've watched on television. Those two have a storied history. And I was telling Markeia before we went on air, I was like, I could see them setting this up for Mania. I could see them saying, I could see all of a sudden Joe's just like, you know what? He puts hands on Kurt. Kurt like, look, you're not going to put your hands on me. You have a match at WrestleMania with me.
I think that would be like a dream match, but I also I do think something totally different in terms of I think it's probably going to be like Kurt and Triple H at WrestleMania.
I don't want Triple H wrestling.
This is not. I mean, I would rather see Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
You don't want Thunderdome to come back out again? It looked like Thunderdome. Looked like Mad Max out the Thunderdome.
But you're not supposed to have a police escort with it.
Yeah.
That's what killed the whole interest for Triple H at WrestleMania.
Okay.
You had a police escort. You were good with everything else. You don't have a police escort like, fam, no, come on. Like, you already got Stephanie on the back. Let's just stay playing with your kids, okay? Please, God, don't let that happen.
Well, speaking of kids, our next match
I got
was
kids.
I got kids. I need this job. We have Sheamus and Cesaro, the two-time tag team champions.
Can you call them do you call them their tag names?
What? Oh,
Cesaro.
Cesaro.
Do you ever call him Cesaro?
No, I did once. I did once last night. Cesaro.
That's what they call him, Cesaro.
Cesaro. It's. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we get a quick overview of the steel cage match that helped, where it was Hardy Boys versus Cesaro, where the whole stipulation was both of the partners had to hit the ground at the same time. Was it at the same time? No, it's just that they both have to be on the outside of the ring. And Sheamus and Cesaro hit the floor first while Matt was trying to drag Jeff out.
What's your thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah,
because they keep changing the rules.
It was
because they changed the rules of how a steel cage match is won.
This was weird for me because during the match, Jeff gets out and he's on the ground. Great, so that's one down. Now we just have to get Matt out. Jeff ends up going back in and he has this beautiful dive from the top of the cage because it's Jeff. And
minus the cocaine. Go ahead.
But then it's like it didn't count that he had gone outside of the steel cage.
Right.
Like apparently that didn't count anymore.
Now they started back over.
Yeah. So that was
just my problem with it.
That was just interesting.
The rule stipulations for the pay-per-view, I know we're talking about Raw, but the rule stipulations for the pay-per-view for a lot of the matches didn't match up with the theme of the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Again, why was there, if Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, he loses the IC title?
Yeah. I just feel like as Extreme Rules has gone on, we've gotten less extreme.
Yeah, we got completely less extreme.
Bayley versus Alexa match.
but
it was just less extreme than it needed to be.
And then you had Rhino and Slater, as we were saying, versus Cesaro.
Yes, this was a short match.
Yeah,
thank goodness for that.
Because Rhino has gotten out of shape horribly.
What is Rhino coming? Why is he still on my television screen? That's what I want to know. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I am not a Rhino fan. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to people here.
Denise, Rhino is why Jay got into wrestling to begin with.
Sorry.
Did you not understand the man beast in ECW when he was power bombing women through tables? It was power driving. Not even
for me, it's all the WWE stuff. I'm over Rhino. I don't want to see him back. It's kind of like the nostalgic feeling. Same with the Hardy Boys. It's like I've been there, seen it, done it. Let's move on. That's how I feel about Rhino. So that's my personality. I mean, obviously, I don't hate the guy.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
But I hate him on my television.
No, I get what you're saying.
And
that's
so
how I do feel. I agree with you about the Hardys, though.
I think that Cesaro and Sheamus are so amazing, and they deserve so much more than what they had today on Raw, coming back as champions, and they're facing Heath Slater and Rhino. Like,
they gave him an easy night. I think it was just an easy. I think that's all it was.
Well, yeah,
it was just an easy night. You guys went through hell and high water in a steel cage. You guys get an easy night. Of course, it's Slater and Rhino. If Slater and Rhino would have won that match,
no, that was an impossibility.
That's when the universe unravels on itself, because you're like, wait, what just happened?
Oh.
But the problem is, Raw doesn't have any real face tag teams anyway.
Is that when we'd have to bring Legion in and have to rewrite the reality?
We got to rewrite everything.
Sorry, nerd moment. Nerd moment.
But that's the thing, though. You don't have any real face tag teams anymore on Raw. The only face tag teams you actually have are Slater and Rhino, and the Hardys.
Yeah, because Revival is out
right now. And
possibly.
They're heels.
Yeah.
Cesaro is heels. Gallows and Anderson are heels. Oh, I'm sorry. Is Enzo and Cass really a tag team? Whatever.
I don't know. They have their own issues.
But
it's Cass with a valet that kind of jumps in.
Right. So you have more heel tag teams That's why when they sent the New Day to SmackDown, I was like, I kind of get it, I guess.
Yeah,
because you're trying
I miss them.
I miss them because I'm like, you're trying to push up SmackDown Live more. I get that but you need them on Raw to offset everybody. You just set up a program with the Revival, and then you ship them off.
Yeah. Well, no, Revival is jaw got broke, so they're Dash and Scott are. Yeah, so I know, but possibly they're in the scenes. I mean, you even said that you think that you saw them.
I was like, wait, because it was a scene. Yeah, it happens later. But it's just with Cesaro. I think because they're tag champs, it's like the problem gets. Do we want to keep seeing back and forth Cesaro versus Hardy Boys matches? No. Because at this rate, that's all you're going to get. Right. That's the reason I bring up there are no face teams.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to keep getting. If you put Cesaro versus Gallows and Anderson, no one cares. One way or another. And you going to boo one, you going to boo the other. Nobody cares. You don't have a solid face team. You thought DIY was going to be it. Being brought up from NXT, but they didn't split them up. So it's like, what are you? The tag team division. One moment it looks like it's strong, then the next minute it looks like it's stagnant. If that makes sense.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's actually an excellent point. It's something that hopefully they're going to be able to do in between now, like fix in between now and.
Say it again. Just go say it. Because you want to say it. Just want to say it.
Great balls of fire. But bringing us on back to Raw, it's so we have Cesaro versus Heath Slater and Rhino in a tag team match.
Did you take a Teddy Long moment?
There we go. What? I didn't know if Jimbo would do it. I know Mark does it. Yeah. Holla. You want to run a circle real quick? Okay, well, this was a quick match. Like we said, a well-placed brogue kick took out Heath Slater. Cesaro held Rhino on the outside. That was basically the highlight of the match. That was basically that. After the match, they get on the mic. Cesaro gets on the mic, and they ask the crowd, who's happy that the Hardy Boys came back? You know who isn't happy? The Hardy Boys. Oh, they had something to say about his tooth and Sheamus.
Oh, that was kind of bogus. You kicked the man's tooth out.
You kicked the man's tooth out, and you're talking about the man's tooth now.
Jeff, go do with your false tooth. You're like, you don't want to kick that box tooth 3 feet out the ring.
Yeah, but they don't set the bar. They are the bar. So we have TJP and Neville backstage. TJP is pretty happy. He's like, oh, yeah, I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. He wants his shot at the title. Neville is a man of his word. And he says, you handle Mustafa Ali tonight? I'll talk to Kurt Angle.
Neville is 22 years old, but looks like he's 48.
He's 22?
No, Neville's he's like, I think, early 30s.
Okay.
Late 20s.
Yeah, I never know anybody's age. I never know anyone's age. No. So we have TJP versus Mustafa Ali. It starts with some light grappling. TJP gets pretty aggressive, working Mustafa Ali in the corner. There's a diving senton onto Mustafa Ali. We also get a dap taunt while pushing Mustafa Ali's head into the ring. And actually, Ali landed a very elegant DDT.
Yes, he did.
I loved that. That was gorgeous. Yeah. And he set himself up for an inverted 450, but was interrupted at go. And TJP gets the W with a detonation kick.
This was a fast match. It was a good match. They're both great workers. But I would have actually liked to see it just a few minutes longer, to tell you the truth. I was just about getting into it when it ended, so I would have liked a longer match. So towards the end, Neville came out and told TJ that he was get his match tomorrow at 205 Live, but they never said, like, oh, is this going to be a title match, or did I miss that? Because I was like, so is this happening? Is this not happening?
Yeah.
Or what? And so now I'm starting to think that maybe at Great Balls of Fire, it might be like, I saw that.
Great Balls of Fire.
It might be like some sort of like 3-way where they include like Austin Aries into this. And I mean, I think that would be awesome if that were to happen. happen. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just going out on a limb here.
Well, after the match was over, yes, Neville came out to say that he to TJP, oh, congratulations on the win. I talked to Kurt. It's not gonna go. And TJP's like, no.
We all know he didn't talk to Kurt.
This far, no further.
We're gonna go talk to Kurt.
We're gonna talk to Kurt.
I can't imagine Kurt saying no, BTW. So I know he didn't talk to him.
So Neville loses it, blindsides him, and actually gives him what he wants. Where we said a title shot on 205 Live tomorrow.
Again, just like with the Cesaro thing and Gallows and Anderson, it's heel versus heel. Who cares? At the end of the day, I mean, let's be honest.
It's kind of like the apprentice taking on the master. I'm trying to put a good spin on it.
Did we do that with Rich Swann and Neville though?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming back around again.
Yeah, because remember that's what we did with Rich Swann.
He did win his match during Extreme Rules. So and in his own hometown in Baltimore. So he breaks that
nice.
curse.
But you get what I'm saying? So it's like you want to see. I want them to do something. If they're not giving it to Austin Aries, which I thought they were giving it to him, giving him the belt.
They need to. They just need to make him a heel.
But do you make Austin Aries a heel right now when you have Neville being the heel, you have TJP being the heel?
I feel like Neville just doesn't know how to be a good heel. Like, I don't like Neville as a heel at all.
I just don't like
I don't like Neville.
I think he needs
the
that little
Cruiserweight champion.
I that. Do that again.
Yeah, Cruiserweight.
I'm the king of the Cruiserweight.
Your accent's good today.
Thank you. All that practicing in the shower works.
Hilarious. I think I do like now that he's a heel, because when he was a face, it was just like, it was so cute. It was just like,
he was like this little magic sprite.
You know what they were going to do as original gimmick, right? He was going to be Mighty Mouse.
Oh no.
He was lit because he's really short.
Yeah.
Neville is really short, and they were going to make him Mighty Mouse. That's why he had the cape.
Oh goodness.
They were going to make him like Mighty Mouse, and they were like, well,
for me, he was just this magical being that would fly through the air.
Yeah.
You know,
the
but
red arrow.
I like him as an evil goblin.
He's a little orc.
He's
Poor Neville.
Nerd moment
like
number 2,
it.
ladies and gentlemen.
I like it.
I feel like I'm missing out on the nerd moments, BTW.
And then we have a Shattered Dreams Productions where we have Golden Truth, and I like these videos.
I love Goldust being back to the evil Goldust.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Goldust. I remember those days. But you know, R-Truth still is the hard one to get behind.
Yeah.
Not behind that.
And he goes,
Not at all.
R-Truth thinks he can sit in my director's chair. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Gone with the Wind, 1939.
1932.
Oh, did he say 32? It's 39.
I thought it was 32.
No, it came
39.
out. It came out in 39.
Okay,
he might have said 32.
Well, one of the two. More likely you're right. More likely you're right.
It's basically a warning to R-Truth. It's like basically that's happening because the golden age is back.
Don't you feel like there was a wasted opportunity with that? The one they could have did before Dusty passed.
Oh.
The WrestleMania opportunity to have Cody versus Goldust with Dusty as the ref or something.
Yeah.
They let that golden opportunity go. And now we have to sit with Goldust versus R-Truth. Truth is a good dude. Worked with him a couple times. Goldust is a great dude. I've worked with Dustin. But, R-Truth used to talk to Lil Jimmy. Whatever happened to Lil Jimmy?
I don't know.
He gonna go back to talking about Lil Jimmy.
Oh.
If you want to ever follow R-Truth on Facebook and watch his personal promos he does.
Okay.
Because he does something offside of Raw. You be like, hey, Goldie, he's around my babies. He's around my babies. He's like, oh, he's hurt.
I've seen the ones that he's put on Twitter.
On
He's like,
Twitter?
yeah, he's all in his feels.
You around my babies. We're his brothers. He was like, Goldust's like, man, this doesn't work.
That's getting creepy.
Getting real awkward,
It's
right?
getting creepy.
Yeah. So we have Mickey, Sasha, Dana Brooke, and Alexa Bliss backstage. And, Mickey and Dana Brooke they're on the Sasha bandwagon. They're being like, oh, you had some good dance moves and everything last night. And then Alexa comes in and she's kind of like the kid at school who has lice and nobody wants to be around her.
Lice.
Life.
She's got cooties.
She's got cooties. She's Cooties kid. And she's like, oh, we have to talk about our Nia Jax problem. They're like, Mickey and Dana are like, excuse me, you're the one with the Nia Jax problem.
Which is the truth. Like, if you look at Nia Jax, you're one of the other women in the women's division. You like, ain't my problem. I don't know
He's
what
like, that's not my problem. They're like, in fact, we're going to go ringside and watch you get your butt beat.
How sorry do you feel for Mickie James?
Oh.
See? The reason I ask is because they brought her back. They brought her on. First, they brought her on SmackDown. They was like, nobody cared. And then they announced her on the Superstar Shakeup, and the crowd was like,
again, been there, done that.
Yeah.
But that's literally how they were like, we've done this. The only way Mickie James makes me interested, hypothetically speaking, is if Lita says she's getting back in the ring and Trish Stratus. You see what I'm saying? You have to bring back that core group. You can't put Mickie James.
I want Lita.
I will take a Lita. I will take a Lita return.
Yeah.
Just to see a couple of good 450s and all that, I will take a Lita return. But Mickie James just doesn't fit with this new generation. It's like, I want somebody to be like, look, Grandma, go have a seat.
Yeah, I get that. Like, there's always going to be that one person that has a mom vibe. Like, for me, it's Natalia. I think she has a mom vibe. Totally off topic,
I can see
but
Natty as a,
but it's
Natty
like,
as a mom vibe.
there's like, again, like you mentioned, like the young girls, and then they have, the mom, all right, of the group. I don't know. Honestly, for me, what I liked about this, again, I love Alexa, so I think that her part was like, like, I'm the bad. Like, she played the role that she's supposed to play. And I didn't like that Dana Brooke and Mickie James were, like, being, like, Nia Jax's little followers. And I'm so actually glad that, well, we'll get to that later, but I'm glad about what happened after that, too, what Nia Jax did. So.
Dana Brooke, they're just like, you know what, we're going to roll with Nia, because maybe we might be able to beat you up later. Maybe we might be able to get a title shot of our own. Who knows? Because at this point, it's Sasha dips off. Because Sasha was like, look, I'm going to do some dancing later.
Yeah.
Because that's how Sasha's like, she's gone. And I guess, I don't know. I think the Superstar Shakeup, I think it hurt the Raw women's division very much.
Yeah.
I think it hurt that division hard.
I remember you saying about that.
It hurt it so hard because of the way, we were talking about, even though we know this is Raw, how SmackDown now has the women's Money in the Bank match. Money in the Bank ladder match, which is amazing. You have 5 women finally doing this. It's historic. You've already had Sasha and Charlotte break ground on Iron Woman matches, steel cage matches, things like that. Now for them to do Money in the Bank is great. Had they brought that to the Raw women's division before the shakeup, I think that match would have been so much better because that division was so solid. When you had Sasha, you had Charlotte, you had Becky, you had Bayley, you had all of them together. That match would have been off the charts. It would have beat, I honestly believe that match would have held up to some of the men's WrestleMania Money in the Bank ladder matches. That's a personal opinion. I know a lot of people gonna be like, no, it wouldn't, because Shelton Benjamin. People always bring up Shelton Benjamin for some reason.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin is memorable, man.
I mean, he is, but that's why he was in those matches.
Yeah.
Because he would do something memorable. But you have a group of women now who know how to work.
Yes.
They know how to, you don't have divas. You don't have knockouts.
You got wrestlers.
You got wrestlers. These women know how to work, and they go for it all. They are not. Charlotte will show you every night. She's putting it all on the line, and I respect her more than anything else because of what she does.
Oh, her corkscrew moonsault
ruins
my life.
Why is that?
Each and every time.
Why is that?
Because I'm just like, my empathy like ranks right up. I'm like, oh God, no.
Because it do look like she's gonna die every time she does it.
Yeah, that and whenever Sasha does her ragdoll or her suicide dives, I
always think she's gonna hit her head on the rope.
I know, right?
I always think she's gonna hit her head. I was like, she's gonna clip this rope and she's gonna be like Enzo at that pay-per-view. That pay-per-view when it was like Enzo's in the hospital.
He knocked himself out.
But I get it with the whole, Dana Brooke is somebody they're trying. She was good in NXT. It just can't translate over to the main roster.
Well, because she needs more personality. She just doesn't have it. She doesn't have charisma. She doesn't have personality. I'm not on the Dana Brooke.
Yeah,
boat.
she had an interesting thing for a little bit when it was Gallows and Anderson when they first started their funny Gallows and Anderson, and it didn't go too far. This is pre-old day, you know. And then she was a nurse with them during their doctor bit, and that worked out. And then that just went away, and then that was just that.
That's something that WWE is known for. Like, you know what? We tried it. All right, we're done with it. It's like some things you have to give a shot to. I get some things you're like, well, we don't want this team to seem this silly. Fair enough. But you got to figure out something to do with Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Because if
I
not,
actually like Dana more when she was behind, like, trying to be Charlotte.
when she was trying to be Charlotte,
that was
good.
actually cool because it built Charlotte up like, oh, I'm so much better than you and you're never going to be that person.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Yeah. Well, continue on. Kurt Angle pulled Corey Graves off the air. Apparently, this is the second week in a row that this has happened. And we don't know why. We don't know why.
Kurt just hold his phone. You see
He's like, what? Look at what's on my phone right now.
This is on my phone, fam.
This is on my phone.
You need to explain this? Corey Graves whispers in his ear something. Like, look, bro, I got a job to do, okay?
It's like I gotta go sit down. Now I gotta explain something. Oh, Kalisto came out. Oh, Kalisto's out now. Let's talk about him.
I love that.
I think I know what Corey Graves told Kurt Angle in his ear.
Oh, okay.
He was like, look, I gotta go sit back down. Booker T got a man bun over there. Look, we got his headless. Booker T got his dreads in a man bun.
Hey, they're out of his way.
Charmel did this, man.
They're out of his way and tall.
And it's very high, okay? He's got this Erica Badu man bun over here. We got to go handle this, okay?
I can't believe you just said Erica Badu for his man bun. So we don't know about.
This is where I think the whole Triple H Kurt Angle thing is going to come in, because I think Triple H is going to be like, dude, we don't like the way things are going at Raw. This isn't working out, and then it's going to bring in Triple H and Steph to be like, okay, this isn't working out, and then guys, they never finished the whole Stephanie romance thing back in the day, where Kurt was in love with Stephanie. So it's like we're gonna see them again. Like, well, obviously not in the same storyline, but
that could be an interesting why we've been extremely Stephanie light since our new GM has taken over. I love that angle.
So just thinking about it, like I got chills right now.
Yeah, but it's so
I got chills.
Here's why I can agree with you on that, and I can see that. The only problem I have with it is it's June.
Yeah,
it's June.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. If we're gonna talk about that to Mania. Being April again, it's a long time, and God forbid they drag that out. You like, look, let's get this over with. Like Seth Rollins and Triple H, they drug that out. So I mean, it was beautifully set up, but it was drug out so long. You were like,
that was a long time.
We know this is gonna happen. We know this is gonna happen. Let's just get this on. Let's just get this over with. Let's do this.
And it seemed like it was going to go even longer when Samoa Joe entered in January?
In January.
So it's like, oh, goodness. How long is it going to be now?
They're going to keep this after WrestleMania? They're going to keep this going. They're going to keep this going for real.
Yeah. So we don't know what they said to each other, but we do know that even though Kurt Angle isn't talking about that interaction, we do know that Dean has snuck back into the building at this point. Yes, he did.
Saw the magic hands come in.
Yes.
I was like, whose hand is that? Because I've kind of forgotten about Dean at this point. I mean, obviously we knew he was going to come back as always. Every time a wrestler gets out, we know he's going to come back already. But
either that or
during
he'd be
that
in the
moment,
parking lot.
True. During that moment, I was just like, wait, whose hand is that? I was like literally trying to think of all the hands I've seen in the past. So bad.
But it's a good thing that happened, though, when you sit there and you be like, wait, whose hand?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dean. It surprises you. But this is the moment where I said, I'm looking in the background when Dean comes in. I'm like, wait, ain't that the Revival back there?
Yeah, this is the point where you were like, and I was like, what?
That looks like Scott and Dash back there. Like they're just hanging around. I don't know if they're there.
Like, what would they been doing backstage?
You know, like, are they there? Is it something like the camera person got the wrong angle and like we were live?
This has happened before. A couple of weeks ago, we saw them, and it was, coincidentally, it was the same night that Enzo got mysteriously attacked. So. But continuing on, it's Kalisto versus Titus. Titus is upholding the Titus brand versus Kalisto. This is a fun match. Kalisto did Kalisto. Titus had a strong boot against Kalisto. He was using his strength. Basically, Titus pinned Kalisto, grabbed the trunks. Kalisto countered magnificently, grabbed Titus's trunks and got the W.
And Apollo Crews just cheesing.
Apollo Crews had the $1,000,000 smile right back again. It was like, I'm
supposed to learn.
Oh, you got knocked the F out.
It's just a perfect smile.
It
is.
Like it's not really a heel, but it's a face. But it's like Titus.
I love it though. I get so happy when I see him smile.
It's just that
He's got a great smile.
It looks like Titus has not been in the gym as much as he used to be.
He hasn't really been. He's been in the ring, but not in the ring.
Because remember when he was with the Primetime Players, and even when he was with him and Heath Slater, Darren Young, him and Heath Slater, he was bigger. He was much bigger. Now it's like he's like, I get to chill. I got the Titus brand right now. Because I think it's because he's doing a lot of the. He's doing something with, I forgot what organization he's working with, but he does a lot of that touring around. So he's not in the ring as much. But it's good to see him. I just want to know where this is going with the whole
Titus brand.
Titus and Titus and Apollo. Have you seen the meme they put up of them?
No.
The first time they took the picture, it was like when you get drafted and your dad comes back in your life.
Oh.
It was the best picture
Oh,
ever.
no.
I need to see that.
That's excellently
Because it's
made.
the picture that Titus took with Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
And Apollo Crews is looking like, what? And the meme says, well, you get drafted by the league and your dad just pop up back into your life.
Oh, man. That's, I love the internet. That's exquisite.
I'm really liking the Titus brand right now, and I kind of want to see this go a little longer. I think it's funny. He's hilarious. Him and Apollo Crews, like, they just make me laugh, and it's a good time. Terrible match, BTW, with Kalisto and Titus. I was kind of like on a Kalisto high since of last night, and then it just went, it just dropped down. It exploded.
I like the match last night because he basically did a Salida del Sol off of Titus, like Matrix style, to get the W, and that was gorgeous. All the stuff that he did was fantastic.
I'm biased, so
yeah,
I'm biased toward Kalisto. Him and I literally trained together. We literally started together, so he's one of like literally my best friends in the business still, and we talk all the time. So anytime, I'm happy for him, whatever he's doing. I remember when he first got the NXT tag straps with Sin Cara. He was like, dude, I don't know. And I had to tell him, I was like, listen, you're here already. You got it. Keep working what you're doing. You already know what you're doing. You're going to keep working harder. They put you in a position to win. He's like, man, bro, I'm nervous. I was like, look, it's right to be nervous. Just keep working. So I'm biased for him. I'm biased for Mustafa Ali. I'm biased for a lot of the guys that I've come up with. I've spent years in the business with. So, guys like that, especially to see him go from SmackDown to Raw, to be on the flagship show, I'm super happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't buried him, which I think.
Yeah, no, he's I remember back when he was United States champion, and then he got the dumpster match with Braun Strowman. Where he won. He won. You don't have to put the lid on the dumpster. He won.
He just had to get in the dumpster.
And then he did get in the dumpster
and push
later.
Remember, he had to fight Ryback at WrestleMania last year.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
I'm sorry, it wasn't.
No,
WrestleMania.
not Ryback.
It was not WrestleMania last year before. It was the pre-show.
Oh.
The pre-show, because that's not WrestleMania.
There you go.
But yeah, I like what they're doing with him. They keep him going. The crowd is always energized when he comes out.
Yeah, I think if they continue this and they continue to push him in the right way, I think that they've been trying to find their next Rey Mysterio. It's Kalisto. They just need to work it right, and he can be that guy for sure.
Oh, I was talking to him at one point, and then we were talking, and he was understanding. He was trying to get an understanding of everything that was happening. Because when you're in it, it's hard to really understand everything that's happening around you. So we were talking what it is, because they let him go to Mexico when he was doing Octagon Jr. They were building his name up. So when they knew Rey was going to be gone soon, and when they brought him in, they were trying to hold, we got Ultimo Dragon at one point. We've got Mystico and all this. We got all these high flyers that didn't work out. But Kalisto ended up being the one that connected with everybody. And they were like, we got what we need. Now if we can keep building this, because the Lucha Dragons was okay, but the original Sin Cara didn't work out, and so then you had to put, who was under the mask? Hunico? Mystico? Hunico? One of the people? Epico? Right. It was so many different people under that mask. But they was like, that's not working. So you'll be on your own, and let's see what you do. And the crowd stays with them, which is what you want.
Yeah.
What you want.
So, but then talking about sneak attacks and just beatdowns in general, we have Cass backstage. He is unconscious. He has had a mysterious beatdown, found by a ref, found by Enzo. Cass has a heavy silver chain that he got off of one of the attackers, and that's basically it. That's the only clue that we have right now.
No, I think that's Enzo's chain.
Was that Enzo's chain?
Yeah, because Enzo was like, they put this chain in to make it look like I did this.
There we go.
That's how
okay, I missed that part.
Don't believe this. But
don't believe this.
Basically, for me, the chain. I mean, when I first saw that Cass was thrown on the floor, I was like, okay, this is a setup. Mm-hmm. And then he brought out the chain, and I was like, oh, it's a big time setup. This has to be Cass. And I feel like he's trying to turn the tables and play mind games with Enzo, kind of now you would do this to me, where we all know it's not Enzo.
How would Enzo do that?
Exactly.
That would be like a squirrel taking down a big oak. It's
So,
just,
like,
it
this
doesn't happen.
It just added to it from like earlier when he was talking about with Charlie to now it was just like, oh, like it has to be Kaz. And I don't know why I'm really hoping for that, even though I'm like 50-50 with this.
Yeah, well, but anyway, Enzo has to find a new tag team partner to go up against Gallows and Anderson, and he has to do it soon because his match will be coming up
I need him. I
after
can't
our
do it
next
by
segment.
myself. Can you do it, Cass? Can you go? I can't go by myself. We got a match. We got to go.
Yeah, and next we have our in-ring celebration with Maurice. We're celebrating the new Intercontinental Champion. It's The Miz. It's this Intercontinental comeback tour. There's champagne, balloons spelling out Miz. There's a dancing bear mascot
That's holding
holding
up
a
the word
congratulations
congratulations.
sign. Just, mascot in the ring.
just hold it.
So, yeah, in comes The Miz to You Deserve It chant. He then throws shade at the audience saying, yeah, you say that for every new champ that gets a title. Yeah, he said that. But he's like, yes, I deserve it. Raise your styrofoam cups. Propose a toast to me. And then he's like, oh, by the way, Maurice, thanks for the bear. This is great. I love the bear. She's like, I didn't get the bear. But no, I didn't get the bear. 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 Hashtag Miss Bear. So, of course, he thinks Dean has to be in that mascot outfit. He goes after the bear, does a finale on it, and pulls off the head, and it's a random guy.
Some random local worker.
Some random guy who has the honor of being beaten up by the Miz. So next they wheel out a giant present. This is a giant, tall,
It's a giant box.
beautifully wrapped gift. Miz beats it with a chair, throws it around, throws his body on it, all while Maurice is like, no, stop! Stop!
Mike! When she yelled out Mike, I was like, oh my God. It was like, this happened at home before.
Yes,
This
yes,
happened
it
at
did.
home. This happened at home.
Yes.
Mike! I was like...
And he pulls from the shattered remains of this giant box on the top of a grandfather clock. It was a gift. It was timeless, just like you, says Maurice. Maurice's had it. She runs off.
Can you call that
Incredibly
running?
in her heels.
I was gonna say, can you call that running?
I need a gif of her running away on those heels, and I will find an occasion to use it.
Because she was just, it was
That
the
was
most struggle
awesome.
run ever. She was like, her legs couldn't
She's
move.
wearing she's like wearing an A-line skirt, and she's got those heels, and she's
her
just,
legs was struggling just.
she tried. She tried for that run. So he even gets on the mic and he's Je t'aime, Maurice, no, je t'aime. And then he calls out Dean. He's like, I know you're here.
We got to do this real quick. Can we
Okay.
give a round of applause for Markeia's impressions and voices today?
Yeah, so here we go. Round of applause.
Because it's deserving.
Thank you. You knew who I was when I was saying because bass and alto, whatever. But he calls out Dean on the mic and he's like, I know you're out there. And all along, Dean was the camera guy.
Did not see it happening.
And he's in the middle of the ring, and all three of us were like, what? He puts down the camera.
Because it was perfect, because there's always a camera guy either on the ropes, on the apron, or in the ring. So there's always a camera guy. So nobody would think, that was him. It's like...
It was.
Yeah, I even asked you. Remember,
Perfect.
I was like, for a second, I was like, wait, was he in there the whole time? My eye didn't see. I was so accustomed to it that I was like, oh, I didn't catch that. How could that be? But honestly, like, to tell you the truth, this was my favorite part of Raw. After this, like, I wasn't, like, I have always liked Maurice, but I never was like, oh my God, I love Maurice. But after this, I'm like, I love Maurice after this because the part where she's like, no. I can't do the impressions, but I literally felt brokenhearted during this moment.
Do you have any idea how much grandfather clocks cost?
Cost?
My mom has 2 of them, and I don't know why she has 2. Because they're
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you
There
why.
are all the bells and whistles.
There's money in one of those clocks. That's the only. There's money or gold. She's got a
that might
fortune
be
in
it.
one of them.
That might
But
be
she
it.
did say, oh, this took me a whole year or something like that. And I was like,
that's
we were
right.
like, wait,
Wait.
what? The grandfather clock? Like, I thought she made something. I don't know.
Maurice barely making minimum wage in the WWE. What?
But I really liked this. I think it was really funny. And I kind of like, ever since like The Miz has just been like on a hot track lately, and now I want to see more of The Miz. Like each time he comes out, I'm excited.
Just cut his hair. Just cut his hair.
It goes with him though. It goes with his gimmick though.
I get it. I get it. Like it's like when it's combed back, it's like, oh, okay, this is nice. But when after a match happens, you like, oh, it's what I get to do with scrunchy.
It's not worse than AJ Styles' hair, BTW. I love AJ, but that hair, man.
When he first grew that hair, I was like, this is a bad idea.
Have you seen all those mom memes of him?
No.
Where he has the mom haircut.
Because he does have the mom haircut.
Yes. And I'm like, AJ, I love you, but that hair,
He goes to a regular salon. He goes to a regular salon with all the ladies and say, hey, girls, I'm off today.
Salons aren't gender specific. You can go to a salon.
No, he goes to the mom ones. He goes to the ones where the moms are all off on a Tuesday. All the kids have practice after school. AJ sitting down, got his nails, getting his mani and petty.
Hey, manicures are awesome and they're great for your hands.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying he has that mom haircut that says he gets all that done.
It's like, just give me what she has.
See, that's why I don't hate on the Miz's hair, because it could be worse. Let's just leave it at that. But awesome segment, BTW. I loved it.
Dean does the dirty deeds, ruins the balloons, and takes the champagne on the way out. And then
a la Stone Cold Steve. I just wanted him to. I wanted him to turn the bottle up like Austin.
Nice.
I wanted that bottle to go up and they were like, you really can't do that. Why? Because we're PG.
Because there's that. We're gonna have the first ever ladies Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. So I've been wishing for this for it feels like years. I've been wishing for this, and now we're going to have it. I mean, this is going to happen.
You know who's the luckiest person in the world in that match?
All of us. All of us are the luckiest person.
Carmella. Because there was nothing else for her to do.
Oh yeah.
They were like, hey, you just want to get in this match? And James Ellsworth gets to be a part of this match. Mm-hmm. How lucky is he to have a job, okay?
Yeah. So we have it's Enzo versus Gallows and Anderson. Enzo comes out alone, and he's there, and he's like, no, you know what? I called in a favor. And then we have Big Show comes in as Enzo's tag team partner, but the biggest show in the room doesn't look too happy, So Enzo's trying to lighten it up. Trying to loosen him up.
The wrong way.
Exactly. Trying to loosen him up. Does some jokes. Tell him that he's 206. He's a heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Yeah. And Show does loosen up a little bit. Calls Enzo a squirrel, which he is.
Yes.
Actually likens him to Scrat. He never actually says Scrat, but he's talking about Scrat from Ice Age.
Yep.
Yeah. We start the match, and it's Enzo with Big Show versus Gallows and Anderson. What did you think about this match?
It looked like the Big Show was gonna punch him in the face.
Right?
I thought he was finna just stock him real quick.
Right?
I was like, yo, it's Show.
We were so tense watching that.
Because I was like, it's Show. Because I was like, it's Show. Because Show's. I was like, yo, he looks too serious. Like every time Enzo keeps joking, his hands are shaking. I'm like, he finna steal off this dude.
I thought he was gonna do it after that squirrel line.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was gonna do.
Pissed you off, and now I was so tense with you in this moment. Like we were all watching it. It was just like so tense. I was like, don't tell me that this whole time it's been the Big Show. And like I was just like all these scenarios were going through my head. And first of all, like I'm not a Big Show fan. Like he drives me crazy sometimes. I don't know, it just does. And
you want him off your TV?
Yeah, I want him off my TV too. Sorry. But after this, when he started getting into this, when he started getting into the match, I was like, oh, that's sweet. You mentioned that. I was like, you're right. Like that's cute. I get it. I see it.
That Big Show was enjoying himself.
When they go for the finish and doing the bada boom, it's not how we do it. This is not how we do it.
That was hilarious.
That was fantastic.
This is not how we do it.
Yeah, Enzo starts with Gallows. He gets laid out with a big boot. Tag to Carl Anderson. Of course he did. Tag to Carl Anderson. Anderson's wailing on him. Enzo squirrel quick gets a tag in to Big Show, and then there's just devastation. There's just Big Show devastation. Choke slam on Anderson, and then the Big Show style bada boom shakalaka, where it's like, this is not how we do it, dude. He kind of lifted him and then just threw him.
Shouts out to the cameraman who was directly on Enzo's face the whole time. Was like, this is not how we do it. This is not how we do it.
It's like a scene out of a movie. Yeah.
Because Enzo knew this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
He just threw him on Anderson. He just like,
It was like a Kevin Hart rock moment
Yes,
or
it
something
was.
where it's just like, and he throws him on Anderson for the pin.
It's just like, for me, it's like, I love Enzo so much that every time, no matter what he's in, it's just like, I'm so happy. Like, that's my happiest moment on Raw is when I'm watching Enzo. And I literally tweet the same tweet each and every single time. Enzo's the best thing on my television. Or like literally all the time. And when it comes to show, I just feel like he's wears his emotions on his sleeves though. Like it was like kind of like the, oh, I'm so happy kind of moment afterwards. And I don't know, I like this.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when they break up?
Who, Enzo and Cass?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just don't want to see Enzo become some jobber, okay? Because he is worth so much more than that, and I don't want to see that. And I know that Cass is going to get pushed to the moon, but...
Whose mouthpiece does he become is the question, because he has to be.
He has to be somebody.
He has to be somebody's. The question is, whose mouthpiece does he become?
He becomes Kurt Angle's assistant.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
Oh my God, Kurt Angle would like either love it or crush
hate it.
him.
Oh,
you know?
I would love to see
would
that. He
be
getting on Kurt's nerves every single week.
Kurt is so hilarious. So
Yeah.
that would be like a good combination of their like personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna dream about that now.
Like you want to see, like all of a sudden he's like, so Kurt, he's like, why do you talk like that?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's like, I'm a certified G.
What do we have here?
You trying to be a couple haters?
What is a cup of haters?
Couple haters?
He goes like Kurt would be like, what is a cup of haters? A cup of haters.
You know there's gonna be a play on the whole gold thing too.
Oh yeah.
There has to be a play on that.
You got gold? I got gold. I won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck. You know it's gonna come up.
Perfect. Yeah, and we have Enzo and Cass and the Big Show backstage where Cass throws some suspicion Big Show's way about the mysterious attacks, but it's all good because the man can't sneak, he creaks concrete. And yeah, it's all good. So then we have our truth video from...
Real quick, did you notice how that broke the Big Show when he said that? Did you notice that?
He's having a good time.
He said that and Show couldn't keep a straight face. And I don't think he knew Enzo was gonna say that. And Show was like, and he broke him. I was like, yeah, you got him, because Show was just sitting there looking, staring and stuff, step at Cass, and he said that, and Show was like, I was like, yeah,
okay.
got him.
I like that he's having a good time. I know. I like it.
It's good to have fun.
Yeah, it's good to have fun.
All your other friends are gone. Mark Henry's gone.
Oh.
Kane's running for office.
There you go.
You ain't got nothing else to do.
So?
Did you guys see that Kane video, by the way? The one where he's telling people to vote for him?
The one where he's walking through the park.
Oh my God, that was awesome. That wasn't awesome.
He's just like,
Did you see his little logo too, with the little flame?
It's a
I was
little
like,
flame on it. He's like, I'm Glenn Jacobs, and I'm a resident.
It was awesome.
And he's like, and that other wrestling, that other job thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we have our truth video from What's Up Productions, where it's an answer to you're not feeling it at all, Jay. It's an answer to Gold Truth's Shattered Dreams Productions. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. A Few Good Men, 1992.
That's what that was the two.
There you go. And it's basically, I'm coming for you, Gold Dust. It was in black and white. A lot of quotes in there. Felt like he quoted Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction. I believe he quoted that. Yeah, so the complete opposite of the spectrum from the gold-toned Gold Dust, I'm coming for you, our
You are
video.
a black man in 2017 with every piercing in your face you can have. Why?
Is he not doing you proud? No.
Not at all.
It's
And
a fashion choice.
It's a bad one. Like I've always respected what Ron does in the ring. Ron is nobody can take away that man's talent. That man can go with the best of them still. But it's just he's never had a character or a gimmick so much that'll get him over. The What's Up thing was cool till John Cena made him look stupid. When he was Cake Quick in TNA, that was probably the best thing he's ever done. But now, like, the Golden Truth was the greatest thing he had going for him. And now it's like, Goldie, you hurt my family. Like, you don't shut your slave sound.
So we have Mike Rome interviewing Alexa backstage. It's basically, do you regret giving Nia this title match? And she's like, no. You know what I'm really upset about is these no pride having jealous female superstars. A lot along that spiel, and then we go into the Alexa versus Nia Jax title match. With this match, Alexa starts off trying to negotiate, where it's like, no, just
Wouldn't you?
Yes, yes, because Jax equals like 3 of her. So, so we have Mickie James and Dana Brooke. They come out because they want to see this havoc that could be wrought. Jax, wow, just kind of ragdolled Alexa around a bit. She did a hair grab, so Alexa answered with a full slap, which was just a bad idea. So Jax tossed her like a potato sack around the ring. That happened a few times. A series of elbows being thrown. Alexa rolled out of the ring right into, there was Mickie James and Dana Brooke, and they had some smack to say. And Alexa DQs herself by striking Dana Brooke.
Very smart.
Very smart. Almost like it was planned the entire time. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past her. But, she gets a beat down by Mickie and Dana. Nia gets in, smacks some peeps. Alexa escapes, so Nia takes it out on the other 2.
What happens next? What happens at Great Balls of Fire now?
At Great Balls of Fire, we get the promo for that afterwards, but but Alexa's, there has to be a rematch. Is that what you're talking about?
Do we get a 4-way?
Oh, you're saying with that. That would be nice.
Because now you have Dana Brooke,
Mickie, Dana.
Yeah, now you have them involved in
Jax
this. Sasha's not. This is something that doesn't put Sasha in the women's title picture, which I'm fine with.
Right.
Stay out of it for a while. But do you go that route? Because now you really need to do something with Mickie James. You have to. I get it. You don't want her on your TV.
Oh no, I do like Mickie James. I don't mind her on my
she's
television.
okay. She's
okay. She's okay.
Okay, but you got to have something for her to do because again, the fans have not really picked up on her.
Yeah.
They just will not accept her. Dana Brooke, again, like we said earlier, the best thing she's done was with Charlotte. She needs to be her own person. Now you got Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. You can't have a women's title match at Great Balls of Fire with just them 2.
Yeah, but if you had it with or maybe because we could have it. Yeah, because sorry, I'm just thinking in my head. Yeah, no, I like the idea of a fatal 4-way.
I think it would be better because let's face it, Nia Jax is not going to have a good match with Alexa. At least I don't think so because
all she has to do is sit on her, flatten her, then eat her like a pancake.
It's just exactly. I just feel like it would probably be just better, and that way they already included the girls. Now they have to keep them in there. And I did like the part where Nia kind of was like, "Oh, you guys think you're on my side? I'm attacking you guys now."
Right.
Because I was like, good, because Mickie James should not be a follower. Dana, Dana's trying to find her spot.
That's what she does, yeah.
Yeah, but not Mickie James. She's better than that.
You are a 6 or 7-time women's champion.
I know. I really miss her psycho gimmick, but we all know that's not happening.
But Alexa, and this was brought up in the chat room by Maria Net. Alexa broke the curse about losing the women's championship belt on Raw after the pay-per-view.
She surely did.
So there you go.
She surely did because everybody that has a pay-per-view. Yep.
So yeah.
Well, they really do like it because again, first woman to hold both Raw and SmackDown women's championships. So.
Well, she's in compared to a lot of the girls in the women's division, she's probably one of the only ones that has the whole package.
Yeah.
To lead the women's division, and that's why, for me, that's why I'm I fully support Alexa in this. So I think that's awesome that they didn't take the belt away from her.
Yeah, I think she still has some mileage with it. Although, come on, Jax should have. She's so huge.
The problem is the problem is with that. Not to interrupt. My apologies for interrupting.
Yeah.
She gets the belt. How long does she keep it?
Yeah, it's who takes it off of her?
Because that's the only thing a lot of people forget.
Wait, you're saying if Nia gets the belt?
Nia Jax gets the belt. How long do you keep it on her?
A day.
but you see what I'm saying?
Let it trade hands
until they
a
bring
little
Asuka up, and then Asuka takes her out.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You know what they should do with Dana Brooke?
What?
They should make Dana Brooke big Alexa Bliss.
That would be have her dressed the same way.
Yeah.
That would be
they did with
hilarious.
Ms. Dow.
Well, they've done with so many people, but it's always China and Miss Kitty are the cat.
Right.
But it's never the opposite, where the bigger person
dresses like the smaller one.
Yeah.
That would be hysterical. Alexa Bliss got
wouldn't mind that.
Dana Brooke got the pink highlights in her hair and everything.
Dear
That'd be pretty cute.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Paul Heyman. He's at the Medic, and Brock calls. So Paul tells Brock that he needs to show up next week
How much
and
crying was Paul
unleash
Heyman doing?
the beast. His eyes were extremely red-rimmed. That man was not having a good night. Not at all.
He choked me, Brock. I just wanted to hear him say.
I wanted him to tell Brock, how he was hurt.
Here's where he touched me, Brock.
But he has to unleash the beast on Samoa Joe, and that's what we get from that little segment. But right after that, we do get I believe it's our first promo for Great Balls of Fire. It was 50s style with 50s style imagery, kind of like there were a lot of things like Samoa Joe's Diner, and it kind of seemed like Finn Balor,
Little Miss Bliss
Balor.
Blimp. The Little Miss Bliss Blimp.
Little Miss Bliss Blimp. Finn Balor as it looked like a James Dean type, with
that's what his whole gimmick.
Balor Club.
That's his whole
on
gimmick now. Which I don't. I get it. The Demon King is only for certain times. Mm-hmm. Like last night, a lot of people said that's how you knew Finn wasn't winning.
Because he didn't come out as a demon. We didn't need it yet, though. We didn't need it yet.
I didn't know if they wanted to jinx him possibly getting hurt again.
Yeah.
Here at a pay-per-view as he returned, and then, he's hurt again.
Yeah, that's true.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well, that Great Balls of Fire will be Sunday, July 9th.
From Dallas, of course.
So there we go. But that does bring us to the main event of Raw, where we have Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Whew. So, So with this, like we know, Samoa Joe caused that knee injury for Rollins back in January.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah. So Samoa Joe starts off with a towel distraction. He's throwing his weight and his hands around. Seth gets thrown out of the ring, gets back in. There's rapid fire strikes, which, the response to that is getting laid out by Joe again. Joe gets tossed out of the ring by Seth and then responds with a standing. It was a beautiful kick. I didn't know that Samoa Joe had that extension. He was like a lethal ballerina.
You didn't?
I blocked it out because he is a lethal weapon.
That man, that's what makes him so dangerous. Then because of him and Kevin Owens, people underestimate their entire ring ability because of this.
And Rusev has that extension with
Rusev scares me on several levels of life. And he's such a cool dude, but he's scared because these guys are super huge, flexible, quick and agile. Ooh. And people don't give him the credit. Again, people are like, oh, Joe need to have a shirt on. Joe ain't never wore a shirt.
Joe's badass.
Joe ain't never wore no shirt. He's wore them shorts. And that's the thing. That's another beautiful thing I love about when he came to the WWE. He came on his own terms. He said, "I'm Samoa Joe. This is me. You not changing me." Mm-hmm. And same gear he wears, same way the towel, everything. And it's like, this is what I do. Either you like it or you don't. And I'm going to proceed to beat everybody that's in my way.
I feel like that whole argument about like him having to put a shirt on, please. Have you seen the man wrestle? He doesn't need a shirt on.
That man could wear a tutu, and I would be like, you are terrifying.
He wrestles a million times better than guys that are in the best shape, you know? I'm sorry, but that's like when people say it's like, it just no.
I believe personally he would run circles around some people that are in the most tip-top shape in that business, in that company. I love what he does with Seth Rollins because, again, those two know each other.
Yes.
So their chemistry in the ring is beautiful. We always say in the business, it's a dance. You're a partner, you're dancing. You're making art. And those two know how to dance with each other. They know each other's movements and coordination, and they flow with each other in the ring. Rollins does something, Joe has a counter. Joe does something, Rollins has a counter. I'm going to do this, and they say, okay, we're going to take it up a notch. Let's do this big spot here. And then when it happens, it's like, boom, you applaud it because you're like, all right, you gave it to us. And for what they do on a Monday Night Raw, this isn't a pay-per-view. They go all out.
Brought it.
They bring it on a Raw. And a lot of people don't get that. Like, this is, and again, the Raw after a pay-per-view where they were just going through hell in a handbag. We talked about what Bray and Roman did earlier in the night. These two do the same thing. And it's commendable. And I respect the hell out of Joe and Rollins for what they do and how they continue to bring it. There's no phoning it in.
No.
There's no...
Not with these two.
All right, man, so we just did all this last night. Let's not do... No, they're like, yo, what we doing? And they go to work, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's one thing. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We kept hearing, like, the commentators were like, oh, how could they do this? They were so exhausted. And then we just had a good opening match and a good main event.
Yeah, and actually, when you think about it, with the first match, we felt like we even commented on it that there felt like there was a level of exhaustion that already existed for Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, and I didn't really feel that in this match. I mean, maybe it's because this was the main event, so they had 3 hours to
catch his breath,
catch his breath, enjoy catering. But yeah, with what you were talking about, where it's like, oh, we're going to set up this moment. That moment for me was when Seth went up to the top rope and Samoa Joe saw him do it, waited for him to get up to the top rope, and then shook that top rope to unbalance Rollins, and then gave him an explosive kick to the head. I was like, woo, okay, that's knowing your partner, knowing what it's knowing on so many levels, and I really appreciated that particular moment. But then after that, Rollins tried for a sling blade, got a counter, and barely kicked out of a 2 count for his trouble for that. So basically, Samoa Joe just systematically, he dominated for this match. That sudden and quick power slam that he did.
Yo, that power slam was beautiful. I thought I'd never seen anything better than Orton's. But the way Joe did that one, that was just mwah. C'est magnifique.
It was nice. There felt like there was momentum shift where Rollins, he landed that blockbuster. We had a flying clothesline along with Falcon Arrow. He did that with Samoa Joe.
Hey man, you talking about CrossFit Jesus here, okay? CrossFit Jesus can do anything.
Man, I'm telling you. But then just as the Kingslayer climbed to the top rope, we got a Bray video cut. What Bray? Bray's here? But no, there's no Bray. It's a distraction, and Rollins is locked into the coquina clutch, and Samoa Joe, our number 1 contender for the Universal Championship, takes out Rollins. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about him, Pat? I like the fact that they're doing the pass outs now.
I like that.
Like Balor passed out last night, and now Rollins passes out.
They need to lift the hand 3 times.
I agree. If you're gonna, I agree.
They just do it once and okay, he's out.
Over, right?
I was waiting for that yesterday. I was like,
they only did it once. Yeah, that's a great point. Because I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, you go for it.
Yeah.
Finish your thought.
Because I remember back in the day, that was the deal. You know, you saw that hand drop the second time. You're like, oh, this is it. This is over. No, no.
That Hogan L2.
Hogan.
He's holding up, brother.
Man. Oh, back when I loved him.
I know we all cared at that time.
Yeah.
But I like you said, what you were about to say?
Oh, okay. Well, what I was gonna say was that I liked that earlier we had Samoa Joe and Paul Heyman with the Coquina clutch, and then we had him again do it today to Seth Rollins. So is that telling us something? What is going to happen when he faces Brock? Is that going to be like oh my gosh, he's knocking everybody out with this? Like, what's happening there?
I think Brock's going to reverse headbutt him when he tries to do that, and then he will eat him.
They got to tell you say that.
What?
I said it's funny you say that. I think maybe not next week, but one of the weeks we're going to get the stare down, and Joe's going to headbutt Brock, and Brock's just going to smile and walk away. And that's going to be like the end of a Raw. Leading up to the match. I'm just like watching him bleed, and he and walks away. But I think, it's like when Paul Heyman was on Austin's podcast, and he was talking about Mark Henry doing a headlock. And if Mark Henry did a headlock and made it vicious again, then people would buy into like, holy shit, a headlock's a vicious move.
Right.
I think him using this and choking people out with it is like you're saying. So like, if he gets around Brock's neck, what's gonna happen? Right.
And it doesn't have to be the muscle buster, because again, we don't see him pull that out that often. You know, thanks to Crybaby.
I don't think he'll ever do that again.
Thanks to Crybaby Tyson Kid. He broke my neck, and I didn't have a career anymore. You were just fragile anyway. But the fact that, like, I agree with him definitely. He's using this, and it's like Joe is choking people out. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, can he choke out the beast? What happens if he chokes out the beast? Like, first of all, will Brock's contract allow him to be choked out?
I think we've seen some surprising things with Brock. I think I could definitely see it happening.
The way he took,
I mean, at least I would hope
what he did with Goldberg, nobody expected him to lose 3 and 6 seconds into
Yeah.
That was one of the most shocking things I've seen in recent time.
Indeed.
So that's where I'm like, okay, you know, maybe there's a possibility.
I also see him just slowly getting up with Samoa Joe on his back like a backpack,
Yep.
and then slamming him back into a ring post a few times.
Or somehow muscling him up. I believe this is what I kind of predict might happen. That's going to happen. The Coquina Clutch is going to happen. Brock will go down. The ref will do the count. Brock will shake and come up and muscle him over into an F5.
Oh, wow.
Brock has picked up everybody on that roster.
Nice.
It is not hard for him to take Samoa Joe and just scoop him up for an F5. It would be the dopest spot you see because you'd be like, oh my God, how did he do that from the Coquina Clutch? And it may not be the 3 count F5, but it'll be one of those F5s you're like, oh my God, oh my God. You know.
I love those moments.
Yeah.
I live for those moments.
Yeah, so that does bring us to the end of Raw. Is there any other impressions or anything else you want to?
Seth and Bray, what about that? He just costed him a match with Samoa Joe.
That's weird.
Are we going to see something there?
No Finn Balor on the show.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We did not have Finn.
No Finn Balor at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that. Do we see Seth and Bray? But again, now you have this Finn Balor element. And I was telling Markeia earlier, are they saving the Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt thing for SummerSlam?
Which they could, especially if we saw the Demon.
Because that's when you're supposed to see him at big shows.
Yeah.
And if we see him, and SummerSlam is the pay-per-view, the last big pay-per-view he did. Remember before when he broke his shoulder, he won the Universal title.
Oof. Well, yeah.
But that was the last time we saw the Demon King. So, and again, Bray Wyatt has been teasing him more so anything. They have to, I believe the whole Seth Rollins thing is a filler. It's just a filler for Bray Wyatt just leading up to Balor. That's just my personal opinion. Now, they may be doing something else, but Bray teased and kept taunting Finn Balor since the moment he came to Raw. So it's like they have to be leading this up at some point, and SummerSlam would be the best thing. I don't see them wasting this on great balls of fire.
Great balls of fire.
Someone has to shoot a fireball, right?
Yes. You've seen the poster, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's seen that poster.
Yeah.
Greatest poster of all time.
I just love that they're embracing it with both hands with a full smile, aren't they?
Oh, you want all this? Oh, here it all is. They were like, no, here's all of it, shafted everything. You're like,
Oh goodness.
no.
And on that note, that brings us to the end of Raw. Jay, put yourself over.
I love the way you said that. Put yourself over. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter again at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. Find me I'm one half of the Trusty Sidekick podcast. You can find us on all your podcast streaming websites. You'll figure out all the rest of the information from most sites, so just do that there.
I have like a lot of great balls of fire jokes like in my mouth right now, so I'm gonna have to like tweet up a storm or something to get it all out. But either way, guys, you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo.
And you can find me here Mondays at 8:30, usually with Johnny LaQuasta, who, like I said, is out saving the world right now. But he will be back next week, and we'll see you here then. You can also catch me tomorrow on our sister network. It is Popcorn Talk. It's Marvel movie news. You know, our little nerd moments. Well, that's a nerd hour. So that'll be Tuesdays at 2:30. Hope to see you there. You can also catch me on Screen Junkies. But if you want to just catch me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty, and Snapchat is Darth Thin Mints. Darth is in Vader, Thin Mints as in Girl Scout cookies. And Jimbo, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth.
And there you go. Thanks for joining us tonight, and laters.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.